Hey people of the VC, it's Andy Cloudy Milder. Today's video we are going to rank the Iron Maiden live albums. I'm using the official website as a guide and they list 10 official live albums for Iron Maiden. Now, I know some Iron Maiden aficionados out there will think, well, surely there's more than that, but there are certain albums like Beast Over Hammersmith that it isn't listed, and I don't actually own that one, so I can't include it anyway. And Live One and Dead One are now considered one release, as they were put together in, I think, in the '98 reissue. So I'm dealing that with one. So if you take the Live After Death as the first one, and the recent Nights of the Dead as the last one, that's 10 albums in all. So I've got a straight 10-to-1 ranking video for you. Did an unboxing video a couple of days ago. I look back at it, I'm not sure it was the best unboxing video I've ever seen. I was a little bit too excited to get the thing unpackaged and play it, but I'll go through that again. I've listened to it a couple of times now, and you will see where that is going to fit in the ranking from 10-to-1. Now, as the rankings go, you know, a lot of these things, and we always say, you know, it's really close, but my 8, 9 and 10 are where they deserve to be, in my opinion. 5, 6, 7 are close, 2, 3, 4 are close, and number 1, there's no question about that one at all, and it ain't going to be a surprise, I'm sorry. But let's dive straight into it, and what I will do is I will show you the different versions of the albums I've got, what I have more than one, and not many people seem to show that many live albums, certainly Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden gets shown a lot in the VC, but not necessarily the live stuff. So I'll go through and show you the guts of each release that's there, the inners and record labels and things like that. So let's start off at number 10, as I just mentioned. So a real live Dead One. This is, as far as Iron Maiden are concerned on their website, is a single release now. This is the '98 reissue, at which point a real live one and a real dead one were considered a single album. There's some good tracks on this, I have to admit. It's officially classed as their 4th live album in the order that they were released. But to me, this isn't a live album. This is why it's number 10. It is live tracks, but it's more of a live compilation. The order of the tracks on here bears no relation to how they would have been played at the time. I think this was these tracks were taken for the Fear of the Dark tour. So, you know, you have one track from like 1992 in Brussels, and one from 1993 in Berlin, and it's kind of all over the place. It's a really good compilation of live tracks, though. A live one covers songs from, I think it's No Prayer for the Dying onwards, up to the point of, I think, Fear of the Dark, and the Dead One is the 80s tracks. But the cool highlights of this one is, where else are you going to hear like Bruce Dickinson live versions of Prowler, Transylvania, which is a instrumental, of course, Remember Tomorrow, okay, that was in Made in Japan, and Where Eagles Dare live. Well, actually, you'll hear Where Eagles Dare live on Nights of the Dead, but up until that point, this was the only place you were going to hear it. There's 23 tracks on here, 5 from the debut album, 4 from Fear of the Dark, Number of the Beast, Seventh Son, No Prayer for the Dying, 3 tracks each from those, 2 from Peace of Mind, and 1 from Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, and the regular non-album track of Sanctuary. Obviously, non-album track because I'm from the UK. Sanctuary was on the debut Iron Maiden album in the US. So at number 10, a real live Dead One. Number 9, and this may come as a surprise to some, Flight, 666, Iron Maiden's officially 7th live album. Again, it's a compilation, really, because to me, the best live albums are from a single show. They captured the moment. Now, Iron Maiden record every show they play now because they only really play the big stadiums or the big gigs. And they are able to pick and choose the best tracks from the tour, put them together on a live album, and it will sound fantastic. And this sounds fantastic. But to me, I like to hear that. You know, I don't mind if there's a bit of a dud in there, a little bit of a dud in there, not too big a one, obviously. And because it's from that one night, it's that moment captured in time. But this is 16 tracks covered from, there we go, India, Australia, Japan, Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Chile, Puerto Rico, and Canada. It's mostly 80s stuff, but it does have Fear of the Dark on it, which was obviously 90s. And it completely skips No Prayer for the Dying and Killers, no tracks from those albums at all. We've got 4 from Power Slave, 3 from Seventh Son and the Number of the Beast, 2 from Peace of Mind and Somewhere in Time, and 1 from Iron Maiden and obviously Fear of the Dark as well. So the track listing is good. It's 80s Maiden, but this to me, it isn't that different at all from what they'd already released in Live After Death and Maiden England. Just a more modern approach to it. And there is obviously evolution in the songs, and that's one thing that I like about Iron Maiden live albums. Yes, a lot of the songs are the same across many of the albums, but they've grown as a band, they've grown as musicians, and the songs evolve as well over time. It's superbly produced as always, but to me this is a bit too much like Live After Death in terms of the song listing. The documentary that comes with it, though, is absolutely awesome. I'm not sure what that is. I got it out to show, but there we go. Best laid plans and all that. The documentary is brilliant that goes with this. You should really watch that. And to say the individual tracks in here are great. And whereas the tracks, I think, probably match the set order, they are all over the place. Brilliant gatefold too. I was going to say you're not going to beat that, but you are going to beat that with an Iron Maiden gatefold, and we'll come to that later. But yeah, my number 9, Iron Maiden Flight 666. Let's show you the things that come with it. So here are the inner sleeves. Obviously, they were using the branded aircraft at the time. That was a big thing about the whole documentary, and they'd be able to travel to different places around the world they couldn't before. As always, beautifully produced, both in sound, custom labels abound. Here's the other inner. This is a double live album. I have a feeling this is going to be a long one, but I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to do this because I really enjoy Maiden live, and you know, a bit of a tribute to World Slavery Tour, and an action shot of the band in action. Oh, there we go. I did have it there. Flight 666, the documentary. This was actually done by Sam Dunn, the guy behind Banger TV. It's a killer documentary. If you have not seen this, it's well worth watching. It has all the tracks on here as well, concert footage. So that's my number 9. Number 8, and it kind of pains me that this is at number 8 because it's Iron Maiden, The Book of Souls live chapter, the previous live album that was released in 2017. The reason why it saddens me a little bit, it's triple LP, is that it's the only tour that I've seen Iron Maiden on, and I absolutely loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be, and brilliant. In fact, I've cracked open, first time I think I've worn this. This is the UK and Ireland tour shirt for that gig. I saw them in Glasgow, and they were it was a dream come true moment to see Maiden live finally. I've procrastinated for many, many years and either been lazy or what have you, not seen them. But yeah, that was dream come true moments. But the live chapter, again, this is recorded all over the place. It's not a single show. We have got tracks recorded from Australia, South Africa, Ireland, Canada, Poland, Japan, El Salvador, Italy, Argentina, Germany, 2 from Brazil, and 2 from the UK, including Donington, I believe. There are 15 tracks on here. This is the lowest number of songs on an Iron Maiden live album. It's not the shortest by any means, but obviously by the time we come to Book of Souls, some of the songs are long, so they take up a lot more space on here. We've got 6 from the Book of Souls, we've got 2 from A Number of the Beast, and then 1 each from Iron Maiden, Killers, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Somewhere in Time, Fear of the Dark, and Brave New World. What lets this album down for me is I don't think Bruce's vocals sound the best. He'd obviously just recovered from cancer of the tongue. When I saw them in Glasgow, whether it was just euphoria or not, I loved it. I didn't see any problem with it at all, but I do feel that he sounds a little bit strained on here. But far be it from me to criticise Bruce when I'm completely tone deaf myself. But there we go. You know, we have to rank these somewhere, and number 8 is where this goes. After I had to listen to this a couple of times. After one listen, this may well have been at the bottom of the pile, but I did persevere, and I have listened to it a couple of times since I got it, and it's grown on me. I do love the Book of Souls album, and the songs on here are played really well, and they sound absolutely fantastic. One of the classic tracks on here, Fear of the Dark, is a song that I hated when it first came out. I just didn't like that at all. It's something about it, I don't know what it was, but over time and seeing them live and then hearing that, and I really enjoy that song now, and it's on just about every live album you'll get from them. It's definitely a staple in their set list. So 3 albums. There is the actual track list if you're interested. Disappointing moment on here for me would probably be Blood Brothers. That's the song I don't like these days. Even Bruce describes it on here as a heavy metal waltz, and what the hell is a heavy metal waltz? We don't need a waltz in heavy metal, do we? This, I was talking about the Flight 666 being a fantastic gatefold. This is the most amazing gatefold I think you'll ever get. Absolutely incredible artwork, superb stuff. And what is a really, I don't know if it's a nice touch, but what I just noticed is inside here and inside here, which you can't obviously see because it's too dark, but it's the same print as this but in matte. And I don't know why they've done it, because I've had this for a couple of years and never seen it before. There's the inside, and but there we go. You get nothing short of quality with Iron Maiden. So that's the Book of Souls live chapter. Number 7, we're going to go to Santiago, Chile. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. We're going to show you the inners that we get with Book of Souls. I did say I was going to show all the inners and what have you. Beautifully produced, not polyline sleeves. It's a bit of a downer as well. I've had to sort my own out. So this is disc 1. The inner for disc 2 with Yannick Gers mainly on it, and some fantastic tour footage. Adrian Smith. Vinyl 2 with Eddie on, track listing on the flip. And then fashion conscious Nico McBrain. And Steve Ariaris. Again, superb quality in it. I just wish they were polyline sleeves. And there's the final disc. Okay, we are going to Santiago, Chile now, and we've got In Vivo. So this is the 8th official live album. and it's a one show album, or at least a one venue album. I don't know if they played multiple shows and picked the best songs from that, which they have done, certainly done on Nights of the Dead. This is recorded at the Estadio Nacional, Santiago, Chile, on the 10th of April 2011. 17 tracks on here, and I think this probably maybe one of the first times that Bruce was doing. Or was it? Probably wasn't the first time, but Bruce does some of the Blaze Bayley songs on here, and I love the fact that he's not a complete prima donna and doesn't, refuses to do them, because there are some great tracks on those albums, and Bruce does them justice. So 17 tracks, 7 from the Final Frontier. Obviously, this is the Final Frontier tour. Brave New World, Iron Maiden, and Number of the Beast provide 2 tracks, and then you've got Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Seventh Son, Fear of the Dark, and Dance of Death, all represented by 1 track. It's a triple live album again. There is the set list and a great live shot on the back. What lets this album down for me is there is not only Blood Brothers on here, there's Coming Home as well. And those 2 songs are a little bit too feel-goody for me, a little bit too, I don't know. It's just too sentimental. I would have preferred to see the Alchemist from the Final Frontier on here. Evil That Men Do, absolutely fantastic version on here. And disc 3 is probably the best for me. And if you can see what's on there, Evil That Men Do, Fear the Dark, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, Hallowed Be Thy Name, and Running Free. Probably goes to show that the Final Frontier didn't necessarily provide them with the best material live, although I do like that album, and this is one that probably will grow me over time. As for inner sleeve artwork, fantastic attention to detail as always. Lyrics, this is disc 1. Disc 2. Again, lyrics, and then the inner for disc 3 has the tour schedule. Where was I in 2011? I was not long moved to Edinburgh. They didn't come here or Glasgow. They came to Aberdeen. I was going up there at the time. But yeah, great artwork as always. And as for the discs, we've got custom label side 1, very sci-fi. Side 3. And side 5 and 6 is a lot bit more, there we go. And the show is good as well. Definitely a great watch. Can't remember. There's actually a documentary on here. Iron Maiden Behind the Beast. The Making of Satellite 15. There we go. Good DVD. Let's move on. So it'll be a long one. Death on the Road, number 6. This is their 6th live album. Again, a one show. This was recorded at Dortmund in Germany on the 24th of November 2003 on the Dance of Death tour. We've got 16 tracks on here. Okay, not the easiest to read. The artwork is a little bit more subdued. It's still very good. It's kind of a bit King Diamond-ish on there, I feel. But we've got 16 tracks. We have got Dance of Death, obviously the tour this is on, 6 tracks from there, 3 from Number of the Beast, Killers, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Seventh Son, Fear of the Dark, Brave New World, and the X Factor all contribute a single track apiece. There's a rare Blaze track on here. In fact, that's better to see the track list. There we go. We have Lord of the Flies from X Factor. There's live shots as well. Dance to Death tracks, absolutely fantastic on here, especially Journeyman, really, really well done. Dance to Death is one of those albums that I didn't really like when I first heard it, but has really, really grown on me over the years. It's a really, really strong, solid, modern Iron Maiden album. And this also has one of my favourite versions of The Number of the Beast on. In fact, every live album has either Iron Maiden or has both Iron Maiden and The Number of the Beast on. Only one album doesn't have the Trooper on. If you know what that is, quick quiz question. Leave a note in the comments, see if you know that one. Custom labels abound. We have the cover. Again, we have live shots we've seen similar in the other albums we've shown so far. And, there we go. So Dance of Death. Death on the Road from the Dance of Death tour at number 6. At number 5, we are going to go to the UK, and we have Iron Maiden live at Donington, August 22nd, 1992. This was actually released in 1993. It's their 3rd live album. It's obviously a 1-album show. It's a double, sorry about the glare, it's a double disc. I got this actually as VCLT from Blackmore Rules, so it's a Canadian pressing. Delighted to have it in the collection. I do want the 98 remastered version, because that's the one I need to complete the picture of Eddie going across, but it's becoming increasingly hard to find, so it's become a little bit of a grail. They are available, but silly prices for something that I've already got and heard, so I'm not going to pay those. This, though, it kind of has a bit of a bootleg feel to it. It lacks the big, rich production afforded to most Iron Maiden live albums, but it's thoroughly enjoyable. It's a little piece of history. 1993, Castle Donington, 1992, sorry, Castle Donington, when Iron Maiden were still at the peak of their game. We've got 20 tracks on here. We have 5 from Fear of the Dark, 3 from Number of the Beast, and Seventh Son. Iron Maiden and No Prayer for the Dying provide 2 tracks, and then Killers, Peace of Mind, Somewhere in Time, Power Slave, and the non-album track Sanctuary, which every time I say non-album track, it is Sanctuary, is on here as well. The down point for me is Afraid to Shoot Strangers. I just don't think it makes a good live track at all. Adrian Smith was out of the band by then, but on the final track, Running Free, he made a guest appearance on stage. You'll hear Adrian Smith playing in Iron Maiden again. The most bizarre thing about this is it is the full cut of the show. So when they actually finish Running Free and they go off stage, one thing that you would get at Donington, certainly back then, was they'd have this big firework display. So while there's kind of nothing going on, all you hear is crowd noises and fireworks banging sort of left, right and centre for an additional 30 seconds or so, which adds nothing to the DVD at all, but it kind of made me smile. So, number 4, still not seen Nights of the Dead yet. Iron Maiden, England, 88. Their 2nd official live album, and again another 1 show, 1 venue album. Originally recorded on the 27th, 28th of November 1988 in the Birmingham NEC in England. It was originally released, I think, just on VHS and some other video formats, Laserdisc, I think, from what I saw. It sounds like it was kind of recorded from the crowd perspective. I have the originally came out on video. I have the DVD version of it, and from what I've read, Steve Harris took over the production of this, and he wanted, whereas Live After Death was very much sort of shots above, down, looking at the stage, very cinematic. He wanted this to feel like you were there watching an Iron Maiden concert. I prefer, when I see a live video, to see the angles that I wouldn't necessarily see as a spectator. But it's a good video nonetheless. But the crowd noise in here is way up compared to maybe some other albums. 18 tracks, 6 from Seventh Son. Obviously, this was the tour at the time. 5 from Number of the Beast. 2 from Iron Maiden, Peace of Mind and Somewhere in Time. And then 1 from Killers, and again, Sanctuary is on this one too. The album highlights for me are The Prisoner. Great to hear that one on here. Still Life as well from Peace of Mind. Brilliant. Seventh Son as well. Obviously the title track of the album they were touring at the time. I think it's the only time that appears on a live album. Yeah, Maiden at their peak. But no Trooper. That's the answer to your quiz question. That's the one the Trooper doesn't appear on. Number 3, the 10th live album and the latest, recorded on the Legacy of the Beast tour, Night of the Dead, live in Mexico City, recorded across 3 nights, 27th, 29th and 30th September 2019. This is the unboxing I showed the other day. We've got 16 tracks on here, 4 from Peace of Mind, 3 from Number of the Beast, 2 from Power Slave, and then 1 each from Iron Maiden, Seventh Son, Fear of the Dark, Brave New World, A Matter of Life and Death, fantastic, The X Factor and Virtual 11. So a really, really good cross-section of the Iron Maiden albums represented in this, the latest album. And it was, the Legacy of the Beast was meant to be a bit of a greatest hits tour. I think Bruce's vocals are fantastic. They certainly sound mostly better than they did on the live chapter. There are a few songs though where it does sound like he's a bit strained, but again, I hate criticizing because, you know, phenomenal voice, complete hero of mine. But Aces High, actually, when that started, I was a bit worried about the rest of the album, but once that was out of the way, it was just brilliant. The album just goes from strength to strength. Where Eagles Dare, a nice deep cut. Klansman, what a performance. In fact, the whole of side 2. The Klansman, followed by The Trooper, followed by Revelations. Probably one of the best, out of all the albums, certainly one of the best sides on any of these albums you're going to hear. For the Greater Good of God. Fucking fantastic. Just to finally have a track from A Matter of Life and Death on an Iron Maiden live album warms my heart. I really wish they had done a live album following that tour. I believe they played the whole of the album on that tour, and for some reason either it didn't click or didn't work, or they didn't do a live album. But I'd have lapped that up. I'd love to get a bootleg of any show. So if anybody knows of any boots of the Matter of Life and Death tour, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to chase up that and try and find a copy. That would be a grail to hear a lot of those songs being played live. Fear of the Dark, phenomenal on here as well. Again, as I say, a song that is has been on every single live album, I think, other than since the track was released on Fear of the Dark, and every live album that's come after, so that's become a definite staple. I love this album. It sounds incredible. I was very, very tempted to chuck it in as number 2, but I feel, because I've only listened to it twice, I've only had it for 2 days, that would have been a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. This may well end up as number 2. Listening is effortless. The fact that it's across 3 LPs, I don't feel like I keep constantly getting up and changing the songs. 100 minutes is the length. It flies by. It is superb. It will give you a better look than I did the other day, because I think it's worth showing again. We've got live shots from the War set, live shots from the Religion set, and live shots from the Hell set. I've read all the inner, let's see, the tour dates as well. I've read all the inner notes now and understand a little bit more about how the stage was put together and why it was done that way. I showed these in reverse order in the unboxing video. As I said, no clue what I was doing. So the inner for War, and that's the blueprint for the war themed stage. A write-up by Rod Smallwood, excellent. It's very, very topical around the whole COVID thing. This is the green one, disc 1. Disc 2 has the blueprint for the religion themed stage, and the Icarus on the back, and then this is the white album, and finally disc 3, the blueprint for the Hell themed stage, and the credits, and this is the one that's on the red vinyl. They all have either a red, white or green themed stained glass window as one of the feature labels, with the track listing on the back. So there you have it in terms of where Nights of the Dead fits in my top 10 of Maiden, but there's still 2 more to go, and Maiden fans will know which 2 those are, and knowing me, if you watch this channel, you will know which one is coming up next. So number 2, Rock in Rio, 5th live album, another 1 studio album, so pretty much what you're getting here is track after track from the Rock in Rio Festival from 2001 on the Brave New World tour. 250,000 people saw this show, and you can hear every single last one of them. Absolutely superb. There are 19 tracks on here. Brave New World obviously has the lion's share, 6, 3 from Number of the Beast, and then it's 1 from Iron Maiden, Killers, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, Seventh Son, Fear of the Dark, X Factor, Virtual 11, and Sanctuary is on here again. So a lot like Nights of the Dead, it's a really, really good cross-section of the Maiden catalogue at that time. Although obviously more of the earlier stuff, because you know, it was, what, 19 years ago? 19 years ago, this. Unbelievable. It's another triple album release. Iron Maiden do like their triple album releases, and it gives them a chance to show off extra artwork as well. Lyrics are on the gatefold for this, and from a vinyl point of view, we have custom labels again. As usual, it seems we have one side with a kind of a live shot, and the other side with some concept art, although that looks more like a live show at when it finished. And here, disc 2, we've got Eddie, and if you were at that show, tell me which one of those you were. And finally, disc 3, the band. There we go, Brazil, Eddie in Brazil. Highlights for me on this album are The Dream of Mirrors. That comes across absolutely fantastic. And a classic highlight, the Klansman on there rivals Night of the Dead. It's absolutely fantastic. It's almost like the song was written for Bruce. Let's say no more. So now we come to one of the most predictable album ranking number ones of all time. Live After Death. How could this not be my number one? This was the first heavy metal album I ever owned. My introduction, not so much my introduction to Iron Maiden, but my introduction to having a whole album with Iron Maiden tracks on it. And it blew my mind. Obviously, it came out in 1985. I think I got it in 86, maybe 85. I really don't remember now. My sister had to buy it for me. It's their first live album. 2 shows, all on the World Slavery Tour, of course, recorded at Long Beach Arena, California, and Hammersmith Odeon in London. We've got 18 tracks on here, or 17 plus the intro. 5 from Number of the Beast. A bit surprising, actually, because it's the Power Slave tour. 4 from Power Slave. 4 from Peace of Mind. 3 from Iron Maiden. And 1 from Killers. Aces High. there is no better album opener for an Iron Maiden live album than Aces High, and the version on here. As I say, it feels like it's more of a struggle now on the Nights of the Dead album, but here it was new, it was exciting, it was fast, and it was fantastic. Running Free as well, the 8+ minute long whole audience participation thing, I absolutely loved that as a kid. Double album, one show, to me, the classic format for a live album. Ooh, creak, and the gatefold. As I say, as a 14, 15-year-old kid, this was just, I lapped it up, and I have loved this album since. This is something that I do not get tired of. I will play this album a handful of times every single year. It's just the memories, but not even just playing it for the memories, just playing it because it's just such a fantastic album. I just cannot get enough of it. So the inners I'm going to show you are from this 1985 copy, my original copy. The booklet would stare at this as I was listening to it. Great live shots, dates from the tour, more live shots, individuals of the band, and credits and things. I would read the credits and I would just amazing memories. And the inner sleeves, again, could stare at these for hours. Lots and lots of live shots and backstage shots, and the lyrics. And I learned all the lyrics from the early Maiden stuff, even before I got the other albums from this one. The only downside of this one, Live After Death, is I struggled with albums like Peace of Mind because I was so familiar with the live versions of songs like Revelations and Flight of Icarus and what have you, that when I heard the studio version, they just seemed slow and sluggish, and for a long time, and in Iron Maiden Ranked, I put Peace of Mind down and got absolutely killed for it in the comments. But you know, it's my ranking. This is the more recent, 2014 reissue. It's a lot heavier, 180 gram, but it's very, very true to the original and has the same reproduction in the sleeves and booklet as well. Well worth picking up. Got two versions on CD. So I've got the original CD, one disc CD version, which is just the Long Beach Arena tracks. So from Aces High down to Running Free. And then I have the 98 reissues with the Eddie face. That's the double CD that then includes the Hammersmith Odeon. Oh, there I am. Hello. The Hammersmith Odeon tracks as well. But there's more. Oh, smash. That wasn't part of the script. The cassette version, I got this VCLT courtesy of Jim Davis. Thanks again for that. That was fantastic to have. And I think this is the full. Yeah, this is the full stuff. This is Long Beach and Hammersmith Odeon in it. Obviously cut down with the number of photos and what have you. No lyrics, but yeah, fantastic to have. This is one album that I will pick up if I see different variants, different presses. I will certainly pick it up, and of course the DVD as well with the live show from Long Beach Arena, which also includes Sanctuary on it as well. I think after Running Free, which isn't on the live album but was on a single from that album with Running Free, I think, an edited version of Running Free. and Phantom of the Opera. So there we go. That's all I have. I also had the VHS version of this as a kid as well, and I remember when Bruce is doing his sweary things, and if my parents were in the room, I would cough particularly loudly, because obviously my parents didn't know any swear words at the time, because they were I thought they were completely pure and ignorant of all that stuff going on. Ah, happy memories. Well, there you go. That's my 10 to 1. In number 10, a real live dead one. Number 9, Flight 666. Number 8, a live chapter. Number 7, Vivo. 6, Death on the Road. 5, Live at Donington. 4, Made in England. 3, Nights of the Dead, the new album. Do check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. Brilliant production. 2, Rock in Rio. And number 1, Live After Death. Let me know in the comments what your favourite Maiden albums are, and I'll have fun looking at those and replying to those comments. Thank you for watching. It is a long one, but I thoroughly enjoyed making this one. I hope you've enjoyed watching it too. Thanks.